Hello Sihat, apa khabar?
Hai, saya Sasha Saidin dan selamat datang ke Hello Sihat, Apa Khabar? Di mana kami ingin berbicara bersama anda dari hati ke hati.
Dan saya Dr Fariza, pakar perubatan dan host podcast pada hari ini. Topik hari ini Syah adalah single dad's life ataupun cabaran ayah tunggal. Sebagai perempuan, saya dan Sasha banyak dikelilingi dengan ahli keluarga perempuan ataupun sahabat perempuan yang membesarkan anak secara sendirian selepas perkahwinan berakhir. Kita jarang dapat dengar sendiri persepsi ataupun perspektif ayah tunggal. Jadi pada hari ini kami amat berbesar hati kerana kita disertai oleh seorang tetamu yang berjaya, berkaliber, yang sudi berkongsi pengalaman pribadinya menjadi ayah tunggal.
Betul, jadi tetamu kita pada hari ini, kalau nama penuh dia, Engku Emran Engku Zainal Abidin, yang merupakan seorang lelaki yang sangat berjaya dalam pelbagai aspek dalam kehidupannya. Beliau telah mendapat pendidikan awalnya di Maktab Tentera Diraja Kuala Lumpur dan seterusnya telah melanjutkan pelajaran ke peringkat tinggi dalam jurusan perakaunan dan finance di UK. Kerjanya amat versatile and colourful di mana beliau telah bermula kerjayanya bersama syarikat Petronas. Namun beliau beralih ke bidang penyiaran media bersama di mana beliau memegang jawatan Ketua Pegawai Operasi Suria FM. Beliau juga amat meminati sukan endurance di mana beliau terlibat dalam Ironman race di Langkawi serta pelbagai aktiviti sukan lasak yang lain. Namun pencapaian yang paling beliau banggakan, and we also tumpang bangga juga, adalah peranannya sebagai seorang bapa tunggal kepada anak perempuannya, Engku Aleesya, di mana beliau meraih keputusan yang sangat cemerlang in IGCSEs dengan mencapai keputusan cemerlang 7A. Tanya amazing. Engku juga kini berazam untuk membina foundation yang kukuh untuk masa depan Aleesya dan ini telah jelas terbukti atas hasil nasihat bapanya serta bimbingan bapanya. Aleesya telah berjaya menghasilkan karya sulungnya hasil nukilan dia sendiri bertajuk Little Mina and the Virtues of Fatimah as Zahra.
Amazing. That's so amazing.
I think that deserves a pick.
Yes, that's amazing. As a mother, I am so inspirasi ke macam membuat-buat kan. Tengok anak tu membesar, dah accomplish so much at the tender age of 17.
Yeah.
So, apa khabar, Kurai? Apa khabar?
First of all, apa khabar? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Sasha and Doctor, for having me. That I'm touched that been invited here today untuk bercakap tentang pengalaman sebagai bapa tunggal. I don't know whether I'm the right person to share my advice,
Well,
but
the background is basically we talked about topics that we wanted to be covered for this season. And I was a single mother for 11 years. And I said, we don't ever hear stories about single mothers, Bapa Tunggal. And your name just popped up. Yes. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it shows that you have an impact.
So actually for me also, I mean, such as a celebrity and you are aware of things, right? And I'm like pretty much in hospital, but even dengan I tak tengok social media and all that. But when people mention nama Engku Emran, in my head, image seorang bapa yang present, seorang bapa yang hadir, dan seorang bapa yang penyayang because your daughter speaks for you. Jadi also for me because I had a son same age as Engku Aleesya also 17 years old dan saya sebagai ibu image ataupun gender assignment kepada lelaki tu dia provider, dia protector and dia leader. Jadi untuk Imran sendiri apabila memegang title bapa tunggal, bagaimanakah peranan sebagai bapa tunggal tu membawa perubahan identiti Imran sebagai lelaki dan sebagai bapa?
well, I think you are never ready or prepared for that role. We never go to school to become a father, to become a mother.
Let alone become a single farmer.
I don't become a single father. There's no manual, that you can refer to. So you go along, you make mistakes, you learn from them, There's a lot of try and error, but I think the foundation is the reference that you have is both your parents. Like my reference is my mom, my late mother, because she was the one that was always present, in my upbringing, my education, my
And then
my
highs and lows.
extracurricular activities in school. She's always there, sending me to school, picking me up from school. So what I know of how I should raise my daughter is basically she was the one that inspired me.
How about the role of your own father?
My father was, like I said, the father has always been the busy individual in the house, figure in the house. So he's always obeying with work. So my mom actually she sacrificed a lot for the family. Sometimes I still remember her picking me up from school and then sending me home, make sure I have my lunch, making sure that I give for my extra cases. Yeah. So from there, I knew that when when I became a single father, one of us have to sacrifice, either me or Aleesya's mother. So given the fact that alhamdulillah I have the opportunity to be flexible with my career, so I thought I should just step up and be the one that sends her to school and take her home and attend her school concerts, from the very beginning when she was in preschool. I've never missed any of her school performance. 'Cause I think it's very important that you are present, that you are there, that whenever your kid looks out in the crowd, she sees you. That's a familiar face. I can't imagine if the mother is not there, I'm not there, I can't imagine how she would feel. And I've always also made sure that whenever I fetched her, I'll be the one waiting for her. Yeah, yes. Always be early because I don't want her to wait for me.
You set very high expectations khas untuk ayat-ayat expectation. No, any potential people say now.
That is my making up to her.
Yeah.
Making up to her. That, because I always feel that, when I got divorced with my ex, she was 4 years old, So I always think that, look, we've never gone for holidays together with the mom. She never had both her parents together with her when we go for holidays, Yeah, when she was little, yes, but when she could remember things, tidak. Because 4 or 5 years old is where you start
Making memories.
making memories and all that. You go for holidays, you go for rides, and then you start, sticks in your mind. So she never had that opportunity. So there's a lot of things that I needed to do extra compared to, her other friends who grew up in the same houses.
Is there an element of doing this far and beyond for Aleesya? Is there a place, maybe guilt, that to compensate for guilt? Or that this is what every doctor...
No guilt, because
Yeah.
I know I've tried my very best to not end up like that.
I see.
Because before the divorce, I made sure that, look, I got to do whatever I can
But yes.
to save this, so that I don't have any regrets later. So that I can look at my daughter's eyes and tell her when she understands, whenever she asks me one day, I can just tell her, look, I tried my best. This is what happened.
I agree.
Zero regrets. So I'm able to do that if she asks me one day.
I think if you percaya pada takdir,
Yeah.
you surrender, and you believe everything is written for you, that everything happens for a reason. So I think, yeah, I had that same principle, and rather than think about the past, my focus was like, okay, I want to try and give the best. I want to try and provide the best. And I think that's the most important thing. But I just want to go back to about gender roles. Like, in your opinion, do you think uh, a woman or mother should be or handle the nurturing roles, and then the father should be the provider, like you had growing up? You think the roles can be switched, or like in your case, you can do both?
Oh, I think no, it's different if if you have a spouse living under the same roof, because then you can play the good cop bad cop
Yeah.
role, with our child or children. I always feel that that is lacking in my household. Whenever she's with me now, I'm the only
Cop.
cop.
Yeah.
So I don't have someone who I can just say, look, I just reprimanded her. Can you just go and pacify? I don't have that option. The option is not there, and it's tough. It's that is the one thing that I for sure regret, but I always remember. I can't be too hard on her, but I can't be too lenient on her as well. Yes. So because she gets basically whatever she wants. So if she steps out of the line,
And plus, she's going. It was the teenage phase right now, which I always say is the hardest. Not prepared for this teenage phase. Also, it's tough. Although I don't know what the difference is between raising a daughter and a son, because I have a son, but you have both. So you won't know like the difference.
but I think these days you don't have that gender role, and the mother is for the provider, the father can also be the nurture, the provide love. I think these days modern parents, you don't have that specific roles anymore. I had to learn the hard way you know, to be the mother and father for Aleesya when she was growing up. To homework with her, because that's how I was raised by her mom. She was the one who sat down with me doing my homework, making sure that it gets done.
Yeah.
I still remember if I'm just too lazy, she'll do it for me sometimes.
Teachers.
So yeah, I mean that's how I raise Aleesya.
Would you say you're quite strict on discipline then? Is it also different about what you went to
On education, yes, I do compromise on it. Because like I said, that's how I was raised. Education is very important. That's why I always remember. I mean, for the past 2 years, I've been telling Aleesya, when you have your own children, this is how you should make sure that they study. Education is very important, and she gets it.
Clearly.
Yeah, she gets it now, she knows the importance of education. Yeah. Yes, you can have your fun times, but make sure that school is very, very equal to this well. And I think Era and I, we are very lucky that we have no problem when it comes to getting her to school, because she's from before, she always loved going to school. I cannot remember a day that she tells me, oh yeah, I don't want to go. Never. Even from preschool, never. So it's amazing that she turned out to be. I mean, I think in that way it was pretty smooth for us too. But
So you mentioned that you became a single dad when Aleesya was 4 years old. So you had a moment where there were a complete unit of family, and then when she was 4 years old onwards, you're a single dad. Now looking backwards, apa sebenarnya cabaran single dad yang masyarakat tak nampak?
um, I think it's time.
I see.
Time you
Time meaning?
time. How do you manage your time? Oh, you got to.
If you're not taking 2 months,
That's true. Yeah, you got to raise your daughter. At the same time, you gotta make a living. You gotta. There's a lot of things that you need to get done to make sure that she gets to good school and she eat properly. She gets what she wants. So all that costs money. So we need to look.
you might share what kind of support
You need to earn all that. So I was lucky because when I got that divorce, I moved back to my parents' place. So I had the support of my mother. Because during that time, I remember after fetching her from school, I'll send her back and I'll go back to my office. I'll come back late at night sometimes because of work. So I had that support. And I think it's very important that we have that, as single parents. And in a way, I'm very lucky to have a good support system. It was never absent. It was always present. Especially my mom. She was a loving grandmother from her daughter. I was lucky, very lucky in that sense.
Do you think as I don't know whether it's all over the world or is it only in Malaysia? Because I did face it myself. Like as a single mother, there's a certain stigma, like ex divorcee or whatever, right? Do you think men get the same treatment sometimes?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I think it's the society that. See, I always, whenever I meet people, I always tell them, look, um, if you have a child already or children, try as best as you can to save the marriage if it's possible. Uh, it works with both parties. Both parties must be willing to change and be a better spouse to each other. And it works both ways. It can't be just one person of one sex. It has to be both because at the end of the day, if it ends up in a divorce, the children will suffer,
Yes.
and the suffering is going to be for a lifetime. It's not just for a few years. It's a lifetime. Emotionally and mentally, they'll be scarred for the rest of their life. And that's something that I always remind. So I get friends who come to me
for some advice.
So I told them that if possible, if you see that's still a way, there's still a chance.
No. Do you think we've talked a lot about you so far, but do you think for the child, if you were to put yourself in Alicia's shoes at that time, what do you think was going through her head?
I don't know. Until today, because she's a very quiet person. She keeps things to herself, which I worry a lot. On the outside, you may think that, oh, she's good in school, or no, she's done this, done that, but you don't know what's really inside. You know how badly and so she's been hurt.
Well, she's digesting is.
You don't know how she process things that she's seen. Sometimes, for example, until today, whenever we go out for a meal, if there's a complete family seated next to us, like some people, I'll feel really bad for her. So I don't know what she'll be thinking. Next day we'll have the parents together eating. So that
Did you ask her
never, because I'm afraid.
to invoke something?
No, I'm afraid to hear what the answer.
I see.
That's the struggle that.
Okay. So you consider yourself quite sentimental person then?
Yeah, you can say that because I think a lot. I wouldn't say I overanalyze things, but I analyze everything because I always put myself in her shoes. I always think ahead. What would she think if this happens, that happens. So being a single dad, naturally you always put your child first,
Yeah.
child's interest first. Then it's yours.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent, but I do think that like when I was going through my divorce, Arya was about 3 to how many? Two. But when I made that decision, I said to myself, in a way, I need to save myself as well because this marriage is not working out. And for him to have me to play the role of a mother, I have to make this decision.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an easy decision, but I think it's also very important the mental health
Of the parent.
of the parent. So like you said, even though you think about things a lot, but that's also a good process because your child needs you to be strong, to be stable. So were there moments that, I mean, you can't be strong all the time. Mesti ada sometimes that you break down juga. Not necessarily in front of people. Maybe you might just, be on your own in the room and just have that moment like. So what do you do when you have moments like that?
Breakdown. I mean, no, but what I can say is not too long ago, a few months ago, something did happen that really made me cry. Something I don't know how should I put this. Something came out in the media about my daughter,
Okay.
and she wasn't with me at the time. You know, I couldn't. I was for the first time ever. I was deprived of that opportunity to sit down with and explain to her.
Right.
So that really shook my core, and I did cry at it because I was telling a friend about this, so I was crying when I was telling him. So that was the first time ever I had a breakdown basically. Because every time before this, she was always with me. She's always in front of me, so she's always guarded. I know I'm always there for her, but
And you can stay for her just
yeah. So when she went to UK the other day, something happened back here. So that really upset me quite a bit. I really broke down during that time.
So you allow yourself that time to
Oh, it was tough because every time because I met a few people after that because it was quite a serious problem. So every time when I talk about it, I cry until one day I met her with this lady. She was the president, Suhakam. Okay. So she told me, look, you need help.
Oh.
That was the first time ever that I realized that, yeah, actually, I think I need help.
Because you've been holding it on your own for so long.
Yes, for 17
I think
years.
listening to you for the last half an hour,
For 17 years.
you're trying to be so strong on your own.
So when I was talking, I was crying. And she told me, Yeti, you need to see someone who really helps.
Yeah. See, this is why this is so important because sometimes people don't see this is helping. Yeah. So if like somebody who is going through, like I said, like what would you, or maybe just at the start of the process of being a single.
I think the problem about me is I always keep things to myself. I think that's where my daughter get it from. Because I don't know, I never.
Or is it maybe, if I may say, because that maybe where the spouse comes in, that's somebody that you can at the end of the day.
Maybe, but unless I'm asked or an opinion of mine is being seeked, then I'll share those. I'll just keep it to myself.
So this is quite relevant because this is communication and social interaction between you and your daughter. And you tend to keep things to yourself and she probably gets some of it from you. Yeah. But having a teenage daughter, we all agree we all have children somewhere age can all 17. There's an age gap, communication gap, and having a daughter who's hormonal, entering puberty. So how do you keep her safe when she's not talking to you? She's keeping things to herself. How do you keep her safe in the era of social media in terms of interaction with the boys?
Can I just say, I just saw a video yesterday. It was so funny because I was like, oh my God. He was so spot on. He said, if you have a teenage or a young adult who doesn't communicate with you, like our children, I don't know. He said, he said, and I knew what he was going to say. That, where's the best time to catch them to like say, have to talk to you? Can you guess?
No.
Can you guess?
In the car?
In the car.
Oh,
And I was like, that is so true. That is the only
but my children have earphones on. That's true. And I've been talking to my son. I'm like, "Need to go to get earphones."
You know why he said that? You know why he said in the car? He said because when they're sitting next to you, right? In the car, they can only face forward. So because they don't need to make eye contact with you, and then they open up. It is true. And Arya is just... Anyway, sorry. This was
It's liberating to know that I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
Because it's quite, it's quite sad that, yeah, like you said, teenagers, they go through phases. So right now, my daughter is going through this phase where, she's very reserved,
Kada kawan daddy.
Tanakawa. So sometimes as parents, we feel, yes. But the good thing about me is, I've always maintained a cordial relationship with her mother.
Yeah.
So I always communicate with her that something is wrong, or she comes in and that. So we manage it that way.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think the best thing is what I've always read, and I think it's true, is that no matter how bad your relationship was with your ex, like just don't say anything bad about them to the child. It's let them, decide whatever conclusion they think. So yeah, I think that's very...
I think it's very important that you do not talk back about your parents, either, whether it's mother or father, because that will, I think in a way, you're gonna create a lot of confusion
Yes.
to that child. Why is he telling me?
What you're supposed to like. Yeah. And you kind of set the tone of them. When they enter, they might do the same thing.
Yeah. So as a single dad, for regular dad as well, and also single dad, apa yang Emran paling takut apabila Aleesya masuk alam remaja? Apa yang you fear the most for her? Boys.
That used to be it. But now I'm not fearful of that.
Okay.
What I fear most is wrong friends, the wrong circle. We've
Peer pressure.
all been there.
Yeah.
You've all been there. We know that mixing with the wrong crowd can be very, very detrimental to their future,
Yes.
to the way they operate, the way their mind things, So that's the only fear that I have right now.
So how do you in some way exert control in making sure she's in the right
I
environment?
get to other friends who are friends. Especially
Right, that's home?
or yes, if they want to come, especially their parents, and I make friends with their parents.
I see.
From there, you engage. Okay, what kind of upbringing that friend could have gotten from their parents. I think it's very important that we just don't look, but we must see what's in front of us. Sometimes we just look or we don't see. So seeing is very important.
Meaning?
I mean, when you look, you just look, but when you see, you analyze. Okay, then you start thinking.
Oh, that's why all your thinking comes from. It's always analyzing.
It's very busy inside. I mean,
Very busy inside.
Very interesting. So, what was I going to say? I was going to say, you being the age that Aleesya is now, what would you tell Aleesya, like, the do's and don'ts? Or do you think she'll listen to you, like, whatever,
And
being her age now?
I think I would tell myself, make sure that I'm in the right circle. So I have some regrets that I should have done this and that, when I was growing up. So I think being in a same circle that is like-minded, that is very ambitious, that is very unique. Forward thinking is very important for a child, 17 years old, because the difference between going to the left and right is it's a very fine line. If you take a miss, you make a wrong turn, and it's gonna take you years to come back. And I've made some wrong turns before, and that was young.
But I think we all do at some points in our lives, but we learn from our mistakes. Like, it's also important to tell them there are some mistakes you cannot come back from.
Yes. That's true. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So that's what me and my husband try to be aware, tapi tak adalah nak control our son. But like he's in boarding school, so we macam like bullying at school, kena pukul and stuff like that. So you pengawas, you boleh bagi arahan, but make sure no touch. For example, what is safe touch, what is inappropriate touch. And they have social media, okay? They just absorb all these things, tapi dia tak tahu akibat. Dia tak tahu long term repercussions of certain actions.
What challenges do you have? I mean, you have your spouse with you all the time. Now, what sort of challenges that you guys face raising your kids? Are there any challenges?
Of course, we are both doctors. And sometimes Sharia works 2-3 days in a row. I haven't seen him, and I came home late. I didn't share this before, but when I was pregnant with my daughter, there was a bit of complications with the pregnancy because I came home very late and I don't really eat and rest. So the challenges are more like from our work. So that's probably not really comparable to other parents or non-doctors. However, instead of looking at challenges, I look at this as opportunities, because having medical background, just like you, I like to analyze behaviors. I like to analyze the parents and the family that my children mix in, and I analyze what kind of friendships I go into, because I invite my girlfriends home, and my daughter and my son will see kawan mami, what kind of things they talk about. They talk about like regular stuff, or they talk about Burmese societies. Kita buat yoga together dulu. My daughter pun involved, kan dulu kita buat yoga kat Century. So instead of looking at challenge, I turn it into a fuel. So alhamdulillah, we have access to things. So I've been looking at youth fuel program for a few years. I wanted to send Johan at that time, but adik dia kecil lagi, tak cukup umur 12 tahun. So I waited until Johan Form 4 and Emily Form 1. Then I sent them together to Oxford. So they spent together 2 weeks over there, just 2 of them. So yes, challenges are there in terms of time. So like you said, that's time. Time. But within that,
They can always alternate, can switch, you see.
we must always switch. Always switch. Kita kena selalu positif.
And also because there's 2 kids, not one. Double the trouble.
Double the joy. Yes.
You know what's a funny thing? Sometimes we don't express enough gratitude with what we have.
Yes.
So sometimes when I scroll my social media, when I see my friends uploading their family photo, having a meal together at home, I always, WhatsApp or DM them, look, always be grateful this moment, because I never had this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doctor, it's really true. Right?
Yeah.
We as single parents, we long for that. We want that.
Sitting together.
Yeah, sitting together. We want our kids to experience that.
Yeah.
So I always tell because whenever I mess my friends, their reaction is like, wow, I never realized that.
Perasan
Because it's there
regular.
every day, right? You take it for granted. So I think it's something that, parents out there, if your family so that is something you should always be grateful for, because then like we all know, the more we are grateful, really, we attract more blessings.
Yeah.
Another thing that I just remembered when you asked me the earlier question, when I look at my children, I don't think it's from single parent perspective only. I mean, regular parents also. Tapi anak tu dia tak minta dilahirkan. So kita yang bawa dia ke dunia ni. Jadi bila dia datang, dia adalah satu hadiah dan amanah yang kita kena jaga. And some parents, I can see some of the more traditional conventional thinking parents, dia kata anak tu hak dia. Anak ni hak kita. Milik kita. Yes, it's true to some extent. You have the custody. You're the guardian until they're like 16 or 18. Tapi itu hadiah Allah bagi dekat you to raise them until they become their own person. And after that, after they're 16 or 17, off you go. And I'm back to my own life. So I'm very aware of that. So I memang treasure all my moments. Kalau Johan main bola kan, I always make sure I busy macam apa. I go to the stadium, pergi and baju kerja, I sorak-sorak semua. I'm like the loudest mom there. But lepas dia score, dia akan cari I tadi, I score one for you. Yeah. But yeah, he will show that means I score for you, mommy. And like you say kan, macam at least cari you must concert. Kan. Jadi kalau kita treat dia as you are my present, you are my hadiah, I want to be present, hadir for you. So that you fulfill your full potential. Then I dah tunaikan amanah I rather than you dah besar nanti you kena buat this for me, buat that for me. I cannot do that to them.
True.
But how do you feel that eventually when Elisha realized, yeah, how you'll be on your own?
No, I think as
Well, it might not be.
as parents, I never feel that they owe me anything. I mean, my daughter owe me. I feel that way. I don't want her to feel that she owes me a Jason, because to me it's my responsibility.
Yes. That's so true, Amanda.
Yeah, to provide whatever, So the fact that I want to try to make things as smooth and easy for her as possible.
Yes.
Like now, what I'm doing is like we mentioned earlier, she wants to be an author.
Yes.
So I told the mom it's going to take years for her to actually establish herself. In the meantime, she needs to make a living. So now I'm planning to create a business for her.
Yes.
So
Oh, that's so
when she completes her studies, then you'll be there for her to run it. But I also adore single parents who have more than one kid. I have one and I cannot, kill it if I have two or three. But sometimes we also see on social media that some parents parents who are raising their single parents, they vent their frustration saying that they're raising their kid alone, without the help of the other side. But I think sometimes it's also a blessing.
Yeah.
That you can actually raise your child the way you want it,
Yeah.
and the way you want your child to be raised. Sometimes having, because to be honest with you, with Aleesya's mother, sometimes we argue over matters like this. What should be done, how she should be raised. So if you are raising your child alone, you don't have that to deal with. So there's always blessings in
Disguise.
in disguise in everything that we have. So yes, it's tough raising a child alone as a single parent. It's very tough. It's not easy because it takes a lot of your time and energy. It takes a lot of your time and energy to make sure that, like you said, you're always present. You're always there to correct things if you see something is not right.
But you're lucky you get to go to a lot of, I have to admit, I can't make it to all of Arya's activities and things because I'm working. I'm truly His father's not in the picture, not even in the country. So it's just me. And even when I go out and work, I'm lucky to have my mom around because Nana. So Nana, as you know, Nana keeps an eye on him. I mean, now it's easier. He's on his own. He just wants to be in his room all the time. But and I do have sometimes like a bit of regret, but I don't even want to call it regret. Just
A moment of
wishing-
reflection.
wishing I could have been there at, like a concert or whatever. But I know that God knows that I am trying my best. And inshallah, my best is seeing what I can do. And, I have my limits as well. And like I
And
said,
you best within what you had at that time.
like I said, I'm blessed I had my mom. So you just count your blessings. I have my mom. What if I didn't even have my mom? If single moms out there who having no husband, no parents, they have to drop their kids off at daycare or whatever,
And that cost money as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that, like you said, it goes back to being grateful, counting our blessings semua. But you haven't answered my question. What happens when Aleesya lives her own life and you are? I mean, like I said, if you don't find,
No, I think
how are you gonna handle that?
no, I think no, I
It's
think
been just you and her for quite a while.
see what you think today may change tomorrow or next week. That's what I'm thinking right now is making sure that she completes her education. And if she one day tells me like, look, she wants to settle down, say, okay, I know if this guy is responsible enough, can look up to you, then by all means, to me, life is very. There's a lot of uncertainty in life. There's no right or wrong. Between two individuals, you may see things differently. So do you, because we were all brought up in a different environment.
And different experiences along the way, both right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like my previous marriages, what I've learned is I always tell them that you are not wrong and I'm not right. You got it? You are not wrong. I'm not right.
There's no scorecard.
Oh yes. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you are wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right either. It's just two different. We are two adults. We want different things in life, so we can't agree to compromise.
You've set a very high standard as a father to Aleesya. No, moving forward, when it's time for her to move on with her life and the choices in future partners, you've set a very high standard. Are you overprotective of her? Would you filter really, really hard through the choice in the future?
Or you not forget you were a young man once upon a time.
No, I think I hope I have given her some answers on what sort of qualities that you need to look for in a man. Because I always make sure that I set a good example whenever she's around. Like do the things that you're supposed to do as a Muslim. Pray, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So I always remind her that this is important, it's not negotiable, it's something that I'm not asking you to do, but it's from our creator. I don't want you to do this, and that's not from me, but it's from him. I have to do it too. So she kind of have a good idea of what sort of and the qualities that she should see in a person, in a spouse, or someone that she wants to settle down with one day. But I really hope that whoever she chooses is someone that can really look after her, because growing up as the only child in the family and from a broken family, again, it's very tough for. And so I hope that you know she will have a better life than both her parents did have.
I think what's important to remember, again, I mean, this is from my perspective. I just believe everybody has their journey. I always say that to find a good spouse right off the bat is like one of the biggest blessings that Allah can give you. Such, to find that perfect partner, first round, mashallah, is like so blessed. But that's life. If you have to go through, I don't say try and error because it's not. But you know what I mean, it's like it's your journey and that the tulis. But of course you have to be cautious as well. So that's how you're cautious for Aleesya. I mean,
It's unavoidable. I mean, whatever we have gone through, it's written. It's unavoidable. There's no way you could have avoided, you know. But what comes out of it. That's what's important. How you react to it. That's the most important thing.
if I can ask, is it? I don't know if you want to answer this, but has Aleesya ever said like she's asked you to like, she wants you to remarry? She wants maybe not because she wants a new mother or something like that, but maybe she wants to see you happy. Maybe she thinks you need to have a life partner. You know what I mean?
Kaya udah therapy kita sama to share things.
Right.
She's never. I don't think she will ever say that to me. But I think she knows that I want her to have more siblings. That is something I really look forward to. 'Cause I want her to have.
Kawan.
Not kawan, but I want her to have responsibilities.
Okay.
That's all. No, not the guy. Meaning, you are responsible for this person, another being, for this person. You got to make sure that everything is taken care of.
A lot.
So I think that's the only thing that is missing in her life, and maybe a sibling. I would love her to have a younger sister or brother.
That's nice. Do you get like any time around like Hari Raya stuff that all your makcik-makcik or bila nak kahwin lagi? Bila like do you get that?
I don't get that. I don't get that because I don't really nah, I'm not the sort yang like to give praise in if you know me, I'm very reserved. I'm always at home. So I don't get that sort of, but that's
Bila lah Hari Raya or the dah kahwin ke belum? I don't know, bila lagi nah.
So I think we are coming towards the end already. Tapi maybe you have one or two words of encouragement or words of wisdom kepada single dads out there who are listening. Maybe baru jadi single dad and they have this infants or toddlers and they aspire to do what you do. Any final?
I think if you have the luxury of still having your parents around, they will be your best support system.
Yeah.
Yes, they will be your best support system because you don't trust anyone more to handle your kids than their own parents, right? So if you still have them, you are very lucky. So try to find a way to get that
around
into the system, around you, so you have that option. And at least when you're at work, you're focused, you're at peace. You don't have to worry about anything else. I think that's very important for a single dad. Because sometimes we work long hours, and we don't want to be distracted.
I have to ask this. I think I'm quite sure they have like persatuan ibu tunggal and all that. Do they have persatuan like bapa tunggal?
I have no idea.
It's interesting, because they have. I mean, like from the government, because they have like programs from the government where untuk membantu.
I don't think they have.
Or maybe it's just if it's under the umbrella of single mothers juga kot. Like kalau bantuan.
What they do?
Macam bantuan kalau bantuan money wise I guess also, or in that kind of way, that'd be interesting to look up also. Yeah, I think.
But it's the same like you said, because actually it's the same. Nurturing and being the breadwinner is, you're a single parent, father or mother, you have to play both roles. So I think it was, if it was a single parent and they need help from the government, I guess it would fall under ibu tunggal. Because we hear a lot pasal bantuan ibu tunggal and all this.
I think because the focus is more on getting them to survive on a daily basis. Because Bapa Tunggal, naturally a man, they were expected to become the breadwinner. So I don't think there is a percentual to that.
We'll look it up after this. They were so president.
You could start an NGO. No, honestly,
I don't want to be a Bapa Tunggal.
Now you're something. I didn't plan.
but okay, maybe not you. Okay, maybe like the government can start something, or maybe there is out there anyway for. Actually, not maybe money wise, tapi mungkin dari segi counselling ke, they're struggling, like their dreams maybe shattered, and they're like, oh, what do I do now? How do I?
For a start, they can listen to our podcast. Sure. Yes, kita bagi banyak info tentang topik yang orang tak nak cakap. Betul. Yes, dirty. Before I conclude, you mentioned just now, I paraphrase what you said. You are concerned about how Alicia's keeping things inside and being aware about other families having dinner together and you guys are not. And that you mentioned something about broken family. So my conclusion of this podcast, Engku Emran, is being a single father is not just about provision, but it's actually emotional leadership, which you have shown for the last 17 years of your life, of her life. So when you say broken family, to like in the era of our era now, how can you compare one complete family to perfect compared to family who are divorced? But in that perfect, that is not a comparison. You can't compare a completeness by having an intact marriage and that family is complete. So you're divorced, that family is broken. It's actually orang yang still together. They might not be present. They are absent parents.
Exactly.
And the children are left alone to find
Don't know what happened
navigate.
behind closed doors, no?
And the fact that maybe it's a blessing in disguise. You are more aware of your emotional leadership by becoming a single father, and look at what she has achieved at the tender age of 17, and that is very inspiring. That is very. I have to say that from one parent to another, and I'm also I believe passion is actually building generation, and that's why one of these podcasts is. And I very try to involve them and my children in the school activities despite my schedule. So seeing another parent do this.
Well, I can't take full credit for all the success that Aleesya has had. I mean, the mother has played a tremendous role as well. In whatever role that she played, she was the yin and yang. Like I said, sometimes when I can't get through to her, and the mother has come in. So I think it's very important that if your child is in a broken family, I think both parents have to play their role. You gotta put aside your ego and focus on the child. Because the child is the innocent one. I know.
Yeah.
They got nothing to do with your differences.
Betul.
And
Betul.
so, if you wanna me to give a piece of advice, I think that's something that I think every single parent should know, that you don't lose anything for putting aside your ego for a child. You don't lose anything. In fact, you gain a lot. You gain a lot because your child will be raised in a better environment, and they don't see things in ugly way. It's very important that they are always surrounded by love. give you an example. There was one instance. I had an argument with Aleesya's mother in front of her, and this was when we were already divorced. And after we had the argument, I just told Aleesya, I think mom had a bad day. No, you have to wake up. Yeah, yeah, I wasn't at fault at that time, but I had to make sure that she understand.
So that's adults.
Yeah. So I told her, look, Aleesya, maybe mom had a bad day, and that's why she's like that. So that's just feel bad about what she said to me, something like that.
Coming from you is reassuring for her.
Yeah. So I think you need to put aside that ego. You need to always put your child first. Whatever it is has to be done first. Because as parents, when we become parents, it's not about us anymore. It's about our child. Everything that we do is all about our child. And it has to be done first, then us. We are adults. We can take it. We know how to adjust. We know how to compromise. But a kid at that age, they see what is black is black, what is white is white. And they are very innocent. And at least they are very innocent. They don't have this preconceived idea of, oh, this person is like that. They don't have that, and they haven't developed that attachment. Yeah. Pretty so very So it's very important that every parent play that role to make sure that the child understands. Never talk bad about their father or mother to them, because it's toxic. It's gonna distort your mind. No matter how bad your ex-spouse will never ever do that. Because
It's a good reminder.
I'll never ever do that. And alhamdulillah, I've never done that. And I hope everyone's never done that too. Because to me, I think that's the ugliest thing you can do as a parent to your child.
Yeah. And there's no benefit anyway.
Yeah, there's no benefit.
Just fight
Yeah.
in them.
Well, Imran, at the beginning of the podcast, we're like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. But here we are. We'll definitely improvise. But I just want to say on a last note, Dawn, on a positive note, you hear so many stories of people, success stories. Like, when I was watching the Olympics, I can't remember how many times I heard, like, when they were interviewed later, like, whoever won them, and it's like, oh, why did you win? What do you think was the secret of your success? And so many of them said, my single mom or my single dad, they raised me to be strong. They raised me to, like, keep going. I mean, I'm not being biased, but, I remember hearing that. I was like, wow. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like you said, it can be a good thing because they see that parent giving 200%, like, and also having the, like, with me, with Arya, there's my mom, but there's also Zain, my brother, his uncles, so there, as long as there is a male presence. But yeah, so I just wanted to end it on that, saying that, being a single parent, you have so many success stories of children of single parents out there.
I mean, there are a lot of, like I said, I'm not the best example. I'm not a good example, but there are a lot more single parents out there who are way more successful in raising 2, 3, 4 kids. Being the sole breadwinner, especially single mothers. I salute to them that wow, it's amazing. The kids doing good in school, and it's amazing. So like I said, I'm not the right person to tell you what
You are.
was wrong, but I'm just telling you what I've gone through, and
It is valuable.
But that's what people need to hear.
Yeah, yes. So for me, we transform challenges into advantages, and you have shown that you transform the pain of the end of the marriage into a purpose. And children, yes, perfection is nice, a complete family unit is nice, but more than perfection, they need presence. Yeah. And I think that is the secret to your success.
Oh, I hope you are right.
Inshallah.
I hope you are right. That's the only thing that I was consistent with is being present in my life. And I hope you're right.
Inshallah.
I hope you're right.
Thank you so much for coming. Nak sambung lagi ke?
Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you.
Use so many information, useful information that I'm sure our viewers and listeners out there can take all the snippets from you, and like
Nanti kita edit dah.
you can help somebody, just one person out there. I'm sure you believe in that. Just helping one person out there is like
You got feeling suddenly ada light bulb moment. So I hope. So teruskan bersama kami dalam episod seterusnya dan teruskan usaha berkhidmat dan Erti.
Terima kasih. And jangan lupa be kind and always take care of each other. Sampai jumpa lagi.
Thank you. Bye.